Well, Patrick, the Timberwolves almost managed to blow it last night, but they came up short and actually won. How about that?
Thank goodness for Rudy Gobert. Somebody had a pretty good. I basically said on Twitter, like everybody else did, Gobert saved their arses.
Yep.
Somebody had a pretty good line. He said he definitely looks like the adult in the room when he plays, doesn't he?
Yep.
He gave his mates some curious looks at some of the things that they did. And Cat, God love him. This isn't going to work, by the way. Him getting 10 shots out on the wing and never getting posted up and stuff like that. I mean, they're going to have to get him down there once in a while and get the ball. I think they went heavy with their regulars. Nas didn't get off the bench.
Nope.
Anybody get a quote? Anybody see a Nas quote? I guess he probably wasn't. He probably wasn't quoted, huh? But he couldn't have been too happy.
He probably left the arena very quickly,
Yes.
is my guess.
Yes,
I'm
I
gonna
would
guess
guess.
too.
Didn't work up a sweat. Probably didn't even have
No,
a shower.
It's not going to help his free agent status if he doesn't get any minutes. But okay, the game's over. Cat hits the three out front, and then he kicks out his hip and gets a foul. What is wrong with him? He can just be a complete moron. What is he doing? He's made his three. The guy's standing there a half a foot away, and he kicks out his leg, and they take the basket away. God, he can be an idiot. It's just unbelievable. The game's over. And by the way, don't you shoot from the corner. You're a straight out front shooter. You're not a corner shooter. You've never made a corner three in your life. Get out of there, and you shoot from great shooter from up top.
Yes.
A little bit off to the sides, but he can't shoot from the corner. And plus, there's one other thing that nobody commented on. Now they're lucky that that team only shot 20-30% from the threes. But what was the strategy of not guarding 3-pointers to let them back in the game?
I believe
open 3-pointers.
Jace Frederick at the Pioneer Press had a note. I think it was like 37 or something open shots were the Wolves allowed to the Thunder yesterday. And look, the Thunder aren't supposed to be anything special, but you can't leave NBA players wide open either.
No. And on the three to get him back into the game, they weren't guarding him. They stopped guarding him. They didn't run him. I mean, defensively in the first quarter when Oklahoma City was trying to do some stuff inside, they really played great defensively right off the bat. But after that, God, they were terrible. They didn't guard. I don't know. They didn't guard people. It was weird. And, you got Gobert and you still get out rebounded.
That was the most remarkable thing.
They still get a bunch of offensive rebounds. I don't know. It was not impressive, but it's a win and it's the opener. So what the hell? But they, when they got down 6 late in the third quarter, you're saying, what? How'd this happen? Unreal. Meanwhile, Utah with all their players on was like they were ahead 25 at one point. They ended up making it close, but they went out and
they might win here on Friday, Pat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
they play like they did last night.
Wolves play like that. They did, but I was really impressed with Gobert because he knows what he's doing, right? He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Well, one play that that got some attention last night on the telecast anyway was that tip out that he saved him. That he kept the ball alive and tipped it out to that mate right there in the last minute when they still had a chance to beat him by throwing in a three.
Mm-hmm.
How the crowd got a little restless there in the third quarter.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They booed him when rightfully so, when they went down by 6 in the third. They got a pretty good boo, and they deserved it. Like, I mean, you're up by 16 against this, nondescript, crappy team, and you're down by 6. And to your point, it looked like a lot of guys on the Wolves had no idea what they were really supposed to do. Gobert did, but a lot of guys looked like they had no clue. Ant looked like he was playing basically by himself at times.
Yes, yeah, he was terrible. The one thing you got to look at is this is their last win of the season when Towns and Edwards go 6 for 27. This is the last game they will win if those two go 6 for 27. Cat was 2 for 10, and Edwards was terrible, 4 for 17. But didn't discourage him. Even with the game on the line, he's going to take it one-on-one and try to throw up another rock, which he did. So, yeah, he wasn't very good. I mean, in addition to missing shots, he made a couple of passes, but I didn't like anything about his game last night. So, yeah, they won. So I guess we should, it would have been classic Wolves to get the big buildup
Yes.
in the opening night and lose to a team whose goal is to go 18-64. That's what Oklahoma City's trying to accomplish this season.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When Gobert went down with the right knee, what looked like a problem there, and they were trying to help him up, I thought that this is going to be the most Minnesota thing of all time.
Yes.
This guy's going to come in from Utah as the savior, new Timberwolves, and he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks immediately.
Yeah. Well, we can only be thankful that Doc Rock was not running the game last night. He would have never played again. He would have run out on the floor. I mean, the old knee hits knee. It would be interesting. I bet he doesn't practice today or go to the walkthrough or anything. Gobert. Hopefully he'll play on Friday night. But I don't know. He looked. As I said, it was nice to see a wily veteran saying, "All right, what are you guys doing? Let's win this game, you dummies." It was pretty good. But boy, it was. I don't know. Cat drives me crazy.
Well, and he is startlingly thin in person.
Yeah, he looked a little.
He is
maybe that's why they aren't posting him up. They figure that he's not heavy enough to to be down there banging around with. Although with that team, they didn't have any size at all anyway. So anyhow, that would have been a god awful way to start.
As you tweeted, this would be a bad loss.
Yes, this would be a bad loss to say the least. But anyway, they pulled her out. I was disappointed. My guy Tibbs, great comeback, tied Memphis, and then lost it overtime. Morant won the game for him. You know what? I was watching the end of that game, and they had it tied. And Morant went around everybody and made that little flying left-handed layup.
Yep.
And I said, boy, did that look familiar. He won about 2 of those playoff games last year by everyone in the ballpark knew he was going to do that, and they still couldn't stop him. So
nobody takes the abuse. He takes too.
No.
He gets hammered more often. And he still makes it, but he gets hammered.
He's a great faller too. He would be a fine soccer player. He could dive in the box with the best of them, couldn't he?
Absolutely.
That's it, I guess. Wolves they made it an adventure. And if they didn't really, they wouldn't be the Wolves, would they? I mean, if they just came out and buried them like it looked like they were going to win by 35 and there was no sweat. I'm really interested in his rotation last night, though. That Nas is, he obviously Finch knew that you couldn't lose that game. He wasn't going to take any. He was going to keep his best guys out there, but they all played Tibbs-like minutes, did they? 35, 36, the starters.
35, 34, 31 for Ant, and 34 for D'Lo.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think of D'Lo?
Not much.
I thought he was normal.
He scored some points, but not much.
Yeah, he took a couple of, when they were trying to hold the lead, he took a couple of bad shots.
I can just never tell with him how into the game he actually is.
I think he was in. I just don't know if I think we do have to say that they don't know what they're trying to do yet. So it'll be, it's going to take a while to figure out.
How old is?
We all assume they will figure it out,
yeah.
But maybe they won't. But Cat's the guy that has to come to the party and figure out what his job's going to be.
How old is Chris Finch going to look by the end of the season? Because you know what? He is almost exactly my age, okay? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say I look great, but Chris Finch is going to look 65 by the time that this is done.
You know who I noticed that on yesterday, what coaching and managing can do to you? Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone was this vibrant, full of life TV guy. Now he looks like somebody beat him up on the subway on the way to that. I mean, he's got those sagging eyes. And, he's aged like 14 years. And how long's he had the job? 4 or 5 years now, right? He looks terrible. He looks awful. I was saying that, man. It's just think how old he'd look if he still had George as the owner. He'd really look old, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, if he still had Crazy George screaming at him on the phone.
Oh, he'd be gone by now.
Yeah, he probably would have.
George would have fired him last season.
That is true. So.
Pat, after a slow start after he got to San Diego, Josh Hader has been nasty for them again. I mean, my God, he's unhittable.
He's throwing 100. He never threw 100 in Milwaukee. I mean, how bad are they beating up the Brewers over there for getting rid of him? And Taylor Rogers came in and was mediocre, and they end up going in the tank after that trade. They didn't. I mean, Philadelphia tried to help them make the playoffs, and the Brewers kept getting beat. So.
Supposedly, the Padres pitching coach and bullpen coach saw a flaw in Milwaukee, said trade for the guy. He got off to, I think he had 2 or 3 decent outings with Padres, and then started to struggle. And they said, "Okay, here's the fix."
Okay, wow,
that guy didn't go to college baseball in the middle of the season, so he was still around to help.
I think that he was really slider crazy at the end with the Brewers. And it looks to me like he's throwing his fastball, and then when he gets ahead of him in the count, he throws that thing, and they have no chance. Those are some ugly swings against him last night. Everybody's having ugly swings. That does not look good for the Brewers. What's his contract situation, Declan? Do you know? Does he have another year? They don't have to pay him yet, right?
I believe he has maybe one more year of arbitration or control. I don't think he is hitting free agency yet.
They have some salary obligations when Tatis comes back, and Soto. They're going to have to try to pay. And,
they're remarkable, though.
Oh yeah,
they take these on in San Diego and don't seem to have a big problem with it.
They don't worry about their farm system, so they just give up anything they have, and then they try to sign a bunch of more Latin guys and trade those guys too. So.
But that place, how much fun does that place look? That ballpark looks like a lot of fun.
Right now, because they're all fired up. They've never won one. They've never won one. So I was thinking if they get in the final, they could beat the Yankees, but I don't think they can beat Houston. Maybe they can beat Houston. I don't know. Houston's not infallible, but how about our guy Ryan Presley? Woof.
Oh yeah, he's good too.
Yeah, I saw the one game he blew this year was against the Yankees. He came in and we couldn't throw strikes and didn't. I don't think he got it out. But that's the only game that their record is when they lead after 7, it's 56-1 or 58-1 or something like that. They never lose a game. Unlimited supply of guys from Latin America who throw 100. There's like 6 of them. It's incredible what they've done here. I wouldn't mind seeing them win it so we can shut up about the garbage cans.
You know what though, Pat? Now we thought, okay, the garbage can thing, right? It's the end of Houston. They're screwed. They're firing people. But their player development, the fact that Carlos Correa left and they haven't missed a beat, they might be better at shortstop this season.
Yeah, that kid's he had another home run last night.
Yeah.
He's got 22 or 3, but he missed 6 weeks or something. He was out he got hurt and he was out for a long time. Yeah, they really have. I don't know who their people are in the Caribbean, but they get a lot of good ones. They get a lot of good players from there. Yeah, that's it's since they've enjoyed their arrival in the American League. How long have we had them now? When did Bud? When did they get stuck coming into the American League?
It's been 10 years now?
Yeah, at least probably 10 years. Yeah.
It still confuses me too. I still see them and think they're a National League team.
When Jim Crane wanted to buy them,
they
made him agree to go to the National League to make it 15 each. So,
the American League.
I mean, the American League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bud didn't want to go back. And
Bud didn't want to go back, and they wanted to get an even number because they played 16-14 for quite a few years, right? 16 and 14 for quite a few years. So
yes,
that's what. Anywho, we don't have a Viking game. I see.
You know what? You know what we got, right, Patrick? I forgot to ask you about this yesterday. We got our guy. The Gophers got the kid, the basketball player.
Oh, they did. Thank God. Yeah, man alive.
We'll get to hear about him for at least 2 years before he leaves.
Now we got a feud going though with the two papers.
Whoa.
We have declared him a 5-star.
Yep.
And the Pioneer Press is going with 4-star. The majority of the outlets have said he's a 4-star, but I believe Rivals has him as a 5-star. So we're going. We've been pushing the 5-star angle, but the St. Paul paper, I read their story, and they did not. They did not even mention that he was a 5-star in one thing. So we got the 5-star, 4-star feud going. He looks to me like a shot blocker who might not be able to shoot from more than 3 feet away from the basket, but that's okay.
He's got the glasses or goggles, which I definitely like. It's a throwback.
He's a shot blocker. That's,
okay,
that's his number one thing, I guess. Well, what's interesting is before last season he was like a no-star. So, and
is that why like Kansas and Kentucky weren't involved?
Yeah, well, Kansas supposedly.
Well, Kansas was. He eliminated them. I know.
Jack might have bounced. I don't know what the hell happened there, but they
might
have had higher priced guys to bring in Kansas. They might have ran out of money. I don't know.
Pat, do the Minnesota Wild find their first win with Boods in town tonight?
Yes, they'll win tonight. Who's playing? Do we know who's goalie?
Fleury, we think
it'll probably be.
We gotta wait till the morning skate, right, to see.
That's right.
And we've juggled the lines again too.
I saw
we've juggled the lines. We're really coming together now.
We agreed with you. We brought Rossi back now.
Of
course, if he only plays 5 minutes again, then it might not accomplish anything.
He's on the third line for tonight, so I think he's going to get. Unless he's taken off that line, he'll get more time by default.
I did not realize that it hasn't been as bad as the people think, because we are leading the opponents in expected goals. Is it expected goals? What's the stat?
Expected goals added. Yes.
The expected goals added. In other words, if the other team had a goalie who couldn't make a stop too,
right,
then we'd have we'd have more goals if the other goalie sucked as bad as our goalie. Is that what Anthony and Tony the Pony and the boys are telling us? That
yes,
if only we could play against rotten goalies like the other teams are playing when they play us, we'd be way better off.
Yeah. The issue with that one is, from the Wild side, is you are letting in 6 goals a night. So the expected goals added that you are doing is fine. It's the goals you're allowing that makes this the bigger issue.
Yes, that is true. First, what did I see the stat today? First team, only the second in NHL history to give up 20 in the first 3 games.
Yeah, I think the 88-89 Red Wings or something were
32 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But hey, there was an empty netter in there, right? Was there only one empty netter?
Yeah, 19 goals against the goaltenders. That's all.
Okay.
It's not 20.
Well, Monday night, what am I talking about? A Thursday night game might not be full, huh? Are they going to, did they get back to 15,000 season tickets or something? Do we know any? Do we have any?
I don't know the total. They had decent crowds the first 3 games.
Yeah, I think they're probably close.
Yeah, well, Monday night, if they're close to full, Monday night's always a bad night. So, but then you had Colorado,
right? And this is Vancouver.
Might have had something to do with it. What else? What were my other NBA observations? I pointed this out on Twitter. I found myself checking the Wizards score time and again, because my niece, Adrian's husband, is their chef out in Washington, D.C.
So you're rooting for the Wizards now?
I'm a Wizards fan. I was thinking, we all come up with weird reasons for wanting teams to look and say, oh, I hope that team wins. And this might be one of my weirdest that I know the chef. You know, that might be one of the reasons.
They lost me when they stopped being the Bullets, which was one of the great names of all time because of the Bullet Train.
Yes. Yeah, they could have stuck with that.
It was a great name.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Colt 45s, I get why you went away from the Colt 45s.
I think you should have stuck with it. You see, the reason you couldn't stick with Colt 45s is what made the logo great was the trail of smoke coming out of the barrel.
100%. I loved it.
Probably couldn't go with the smoke coming out of the barrel. But what a great logo that was. That was fantastic.
Oh, it's one of the great names?
Yeah. And do you think why did we care? Did we think it? Now that was just because Hines wanted to push the Astros.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that was him. That was him. I don't think baseball gave a damn, but they would have been eliminated by now. We would have.
Oh God, yeah. But the Bullets was a great original type of name, which made perfect sense.
Yes.
And was not offensive.
No, it was not offensive at all. But it's not going to cause the rabid youth of America. They have a lot of guns, but it's not going to be because there's a basketball team.
You don't think there's going to be an extra sale or two on the street?
I don't think that has anything at all to do with it. I really don't.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't discussed our loons much.
We lost.
I know we lost. Where do we go from here? I mean, are we still down on Adrian, or are we okay, or what?
I think so. So my perception of that is that I think the true fans, as we've discussed before, do not like the formations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's still in favor with the organization because he takes them to the playoffs. And guess what? They still draw lots of people.
Yes, but they have to be disappointed they didn't get a home game, right?
Oh, sure.
They get a home game. Oh, by the way, we should mention this. We'll mention it tomorrow. But North Dakota coming to town to play the Gophers in a hockey series. They should have North Dakota bring 4,000 fans. They'll fill that place up this weekend.
Did you see who has, and this is genius, already secured the official pregame party for Fighting Hawks fans Friday and Saturday? Sally's Saloon.
Oh, way to go, Sally. So they're throwing out the Gopher fans and inviting the North Dakota fans, huh?
Yes. And I guarantee you their year has now been made.
Oh, yeah. They will do well. I wonder if the Fighting Hawks, do they still chant "Let's go Sioux," or have they got?
They did last time I went.
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah.
What was that? 2 or 3 years back, they were at the Mooch and they were very much chanting "Let's go Sioux."
Yeah, they were. I went up to St. Cloud. I think it was the first series that they were I think they switched in mid-season, did they?
Yes, I was still in college. Yep.
After the Christmas break or something.
Yep.
And I was having a lot of fun with their fans before the game, saying, "Boy, these Hawks are looking pretty good." You know, the Hawks are. It's nice to see. Nice to see this Hawks pride going on. And I think my lead on the column was about Fighting Hawks pride too, and I got a few comments. They were very upset about the Sioux losing that nickname. So hey, what do they still pack that place for home games? And are they
Grand Forks or what?
Yeah, Grand Forks.
Yeah, I think so.
They probably do. It's a great arena.
I think it's I've described it as the Tuscaloosa of college hockey. You know, the place that still cares more than any other place. So that'll be good. Because there was the crowd when I was there a couple of weeks ago on Friday night. They were empty at one end, but the students were back, and
the students are back in full force, which is that's cool.
Good. The atmosphere is a lot better than it was a couple of years ago.
Oh, God.
They're number one in the country without playing, though, because Denver got swept by UMass, I saw. So.
Yeah, I sent you a picture. I sent you pictures a couple of years back. I mean, the place I think it was Michigan. It was empty.
They had a playoff game where they had 100, 1,100
Yeah.
people or something for
Yep.
that playoff game against Michigan. So.
Exactly. All right, sir.
Will be fun. Okay, and the Gophers might have the freshest. It sounded like we got the setup today for the freshman being the starting quarterback, but we'll see.
Yeah, if Tanner's got a concussion, he ain't playing.
Yeah. Plus, you're not going to win a game anyway, so let the kid play, right?
Yeah, probably
If
true.
he's got it. All right. See
All
you
right, talk to you. Bye-bye.
tomorrow.